live. If you have any questions, please put them out there. If you're watching us after the fact, we will answer your questions as well. Today's Telling It Like It Is guest is Karen Judge. She's the founder of Get a Dose of Happiness. Karen, thank you for joining me. And how are you today?
I'm fantastic, Jade. Nice to see you. I love your t-shirt. And I have to ask, is that a sign in the background that says happy?
It is. It's a lot of the paintings that we've been doing around here, and it's just a fluke that says actually happy back there. It's just
okay. I love it. I love it. And you're always so known for your shoes. Do you have any great shoes on right now, or are you still in your pajama bottoms like everyone?
I
love it.
I know. And I love my shirt. This is when I was a video game wizard at Super Nintendo, but that's quite a few years ago.
I love it.
I always like starting off and saying how we met, because connecting with people and networking is so important. So Peter LaFontaine introduced us probably about a year ago, and you're one of the great relationships that has started. That's relatively new in my life, and I'm loving everything that you're doing. So I'm very grateful for Peter introducing us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, me too. Good old Pete, the connector. Pete, the connector.
Yes, exactly. Pete just keeps on connecting.
Right?
Exactly. Well, what I'll do is I'll give a brief introduction to you here, and then we'll get at it. So as I said, Karen is the founder of Get a Dose of Happiness and the author of an upcoming book called Drive Your Happiness. And she is a mind wellness educator. She works to teach people how to build healthy brain, mind, and achieve happiness as the outcome. Karen's work comes from years of research and studies surrounding the science of the brain, body-mind connection. Her mission is to change the conversation and outcomes of surrounding mental health through proactive mind wellness. Her research has shown by developing skills and tools in a time of joy and inspiration versus a time of suffering can create and sustain a happy mind. A mind that is better at processing stress, uncertainty, and change, and leads to the person becoming their happiest self. So when I read that introduction, it is almost a perfect walk into what we're going to talk about first, and obviously the coronavirus and how people are staying at home. And in our discussion before, obviously you're affected by this in a few ways. Number one, you're having to work at home, but number two, your store in Bankers Hall obviously had to shut down because of the coronavirus. So why don't you share, from your point of view, how you're working at this as a person dealing with it and as a business person?
Yeah, well, certainly this is very interesting times. And who knew 3 weeks ago we were going one way, and how quickly things can change. And that's a lot what I teach about in life, that we just never know from day to day, right?
Yeah.
As far as the space in Bankers Hall, we opened it in November, and it is a pilot project with the intention to make it permanent and possibly even grow it. So I say to people, it's a 120-day project so far with a 10-year business plan. So really have a big vision for it. And then all of a sudden, COVID had a whole different plan for us. So not easy. It's not easy. I'm not going to pretend it is. You're pretty much forced to close. I like to think that maybe I am actually an essential service, because I'm there to elevate people's mind wellness. And as much as I'm concerned about COVID-19, I am way more concerned about people's mental health right now. And the big thing being is we don't really realize the health of our mind at the fitness level until we're hit with crisis. Sadly, we don't put the investment in it when we're in a time of joy and inspiration. And we are in crisis right now. And I'm going to tell you that majority of the people do not have the skills. They do not understand the neuroscience of the brain and all that, because we're not taught it. We're not taught it in our schools. We're not taught it as children. We don't know it as adults. We're not practicing it. We're not teaching it. Our grandparents didn't know it. Our parents, us, don't know it. And so, the space I live in is teaching people those skills and tools so that we can create a healthier, happier world. Very proactive. I sit outside the healthcare system, so it's not about being treating people or recovery. It's about you building the skills so that you never cross the line. And just because I've spent so much time, I've spent a lifetime studying the mind, mental health, proactive wellness. Last 8 years, I've studied neuroscience, positive psychology, And the exciting thing is modern science is proving that there are so many answers, how powerful we are, and how we can claim the health of our mind. But we're not being, again, where are we learning that? Unless you're actually taking an interest in Googling it yourself. So, yeah. But, you know, the closing the business, it is what it is. I'm not alone. It's not just happening to me. It's happening to everyone. And so, you know, I practice power phrases, and I just say to myself, well, what am I going to do about it? I'm no mouse, and I'm just going to have to keep moving forward,
No, and definitely. And I've talked to over 30 businesses over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of good discussions, some heart to heart, some financial, some positive and some negative. But just kind of getting back to what you said, you know, you're spending the last 8 years focusing on it. Is there something or some tidbits that you would be able to share for someone who's obviously might have worries about a closing a business, B, their family working with them at home, the isolation? Is there something that you might be able to share here that would be able to keep somebody happy at home, so to say?
Well, you know, it's hard to really minimize the situation, and really happiness is so subjective, right? I don't claim, you know, I've got a dose of happiness. It's not all about, oh, she's so happy all the time and in your face. I just, you know, I'm really talking about how to never be sad. But if I called my business a dose of sadness, I don't think anybody would find that appealing. So, you know, really the right thing right now is you really got to be paying attention to self. It's a time to really go inside and really be your biggest hero right now and your biggest support. Really things to do, you know, if I was really to swing this over to the happy side, my thing would be to suggest people really start focusing on gratitude. The power of gratitude, I don't need to tell you about it. Everybody can GOOGLE it and read it, and it's incredible what gratitude does. Our brain can't have a positive and a negative thought at the same time. And if we're in stress, our brain is completely shut down. It is not able to be creative, innovative, productive. It's like in survival mode, right? It's ready to just fight. And so that's not a good place to be. So gratitude gets you out of the negative mindset and gets you into a more positive one. And the positive brain is so full and happy and everything flows through it. And so gratitude is huge, huge, huge. I mean, it is non-negotiable. It's like having a shower, brushing your teeth. We should be practicing it every day. The other one is don't believe every thought your mind is telling you. Our brains don't know if we're telling it the truth or a lie. It just only knows what you tell it, and it responds accordingly. And so we get those stories going in our head of what might happen. We read those news stories and we start to create these scenarios. We don't know them to be really true. So my whole thing is really stick to the facts. Stick to the facts, and then what are you going to do about them? And then ask yourself, who do you want to be when this is all over? Like, who is it you want to be when this is all over, and what are you going to do to make that happen? And small wins. Creating small wins every single day, whether it's making your bed, cleaning your house, calling somebody, something that makes you feel good about yourself. Energetic environment, creating an energetic environment, that's so huge. We're an exchange of energy, so loving your surroundings. Random acts of kindness, right? No matter how bad you think you have it, I guarantee you someone has it worse. And we're seeing that, just great random acts of kindness, self-care, huge self-care. And less news and more funny. For every news that you listen to that's negative, you need to go and have 3 to 5 funnies. That's what you need to switch the brain. So more funny. And just stay focused on the next best step. What is the next step I need to take right now? Not what you have to do at the end of the month or next month. What do you have to do in this moment? Because it's changing day by day. And the last thing is connection. We're tribal people. We need to be together. Connection is huge, huge right now, however that looks, whether you're Zooming, FaceTiming, you know, group, whatever. You can still have your parties on the weekends, just FaceTime your friends and do it virtually, right? But connection is huge. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I want to say, Deborah says hello there. Thanks for joining us, Deborah. That was nice to have you here. I know, I mean, even like, especially with us, with our girls at home, obviously, right? I mean, we talked a little bit before about what's going on and where our girls need to be. And I'm spending time with them, whether it be war and laughing, playing games, playing card games, doing whatever. And even that's helping me. I mean, I'm able to focus on a Monopoly or Payday or whatever card game that we're playing. So it is. I mean, it's different to everybody with the way it rolls, and like And you just got to, I've been watching a lot of Impractical Jokers to get my laughs.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh. I'll sit on the couch for a bit and laugh for half an hour, and then, okay, well, time to get back to, doing a little bit of work here. So
yeah, I spend a lot of time with my funny friends. I have funny friend phone calls every day.
Exactly. So I wanted to, I really appreciate you sharing in those tidbits, and I will actually cut that and post it up there later on, because I think that's great advice. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk a little bit about you and your business and what you're doing. So, you're the author of Drive Your Happiness, and obviously the Dose of Happiness in Bankers Hall. And if anybody needs to check it out, the website is up there. It's in the comments section. Just click on it and we'll take you directly there. So, even more so right now, happiness isn't front of mind. And once we get through this, how are we going to have to move forward being happy?
Well, I say that mind health is the precursor to happiness, and that's what I teach. And I just think that we are in hopefully in a time of awakening. I feel like we're in the fork in a road right now. And there's two directions we could go through. We could go one way where we could create the most amazing world, and we could keep going one way where it just breaks my heart. I just think it's about awakening and waking up and paying more attention and paying attention to the health of the mind, because nobody is immune to this. And if you don't have good mind health, you can never achieve happiness, right? Happiness will just be a false thing. It's something you put on. It's a perception that you put off. Happiness is like like I said, it's not the absence of sadness. Happiness is the belief that you can do something about it. And there's going to be a lot of sadness right now. So mind health is having the skills and tools to get yourself out of that so that you don't go down a dangerous road.
No, absolutely. And I think that's such a great point, because going down that dangerous road right now and then adding to somebody who might be working from home who doesn't like it and have their family at home, which adds to the stress because they don't have their privacy, and their dog's walking through here, their cat's sitting there, their kids don't understand what's going on, and they can't deal with it. And it just keeps adding and boiling and boiling and boiling. And there's nowhere to go right now to let that go. So I think the connection, what you said, and even before, calling up a friend and just laughing, it might be a very good problem solver.
Well, and it comes down to, I talk about this in my book about power phrases. We all have to have power phrases, and we got to put them write them down, carry them around with you, stick them on the mirror. So when you are having those moments of overwhelm, the kids, whatever's going on, and you're feeling like this is just Groundhog Day. Every day is the same day and it's over again. And you wake up and you kind of, open one eye and say, oh no, it's you again. And, or I want to wake up and say, to my husband, oh my gosh, I had the worst dream last night. You're not going to believe it. Or I was hoping today, it being April Fool's Day, that we were going to read and say, oh, it's a joke, everyone, right? But it's not. So, it's about having those power phrases and claiming our energy, because we start to get depleted and depleted and depleted. So we go to anger, frustration. And those are words that you say to yourself that are confident. Like I say to myself, well, what am I going to do about this? I'm no house, right? This isn't going to last forever. We're at a green light, or we're at a red light. The light's going to be green. Like just things that give you energy to re-energize yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, when a Dose of Happiness is open, you host mind health events. You actually had an online one yesterday. Maybe you can tell us how that went. But please share some of the topics that you talk about and how they relate to today's environment.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I can just explain a little bit of the space. The space is a 7,500 square foot space. Yes, I am responsible for 7,500 square feet. I'm a big thinker, right? And the space is really how I explain it to people, is we are there to elevate people's mind health and happiness through products, education, and services. Think of us like an experience center all around mind health, the science, our brain health, the science of happiness, mental wellness. And then we have like a gift shop. So we do have a retail component of it. Of course, we're in Bankers Hall. And we feature a lot of different entrepreneurs are in the space with us. So it's a very collaborative space. We called it the Collaborative at first, but we are now going to Dose of Happiness Experience Center. We just felt the Collaborative wasn't really explaining what it is, but it really is a collaboration of entrepreneurs in Calgary coming together, and we're connecting all the products to sparking joy or to the wellness of the mind. And so really what the whole intention is to create these education sessions and these experiences that are really lively and fun and sexy, you know, but yet having a really important conversation all about mind wellness and mental wellness. So our education hub was supposed to officially launch on March 20th, which was the International Day of Happiness. And of course, COVID, that changed everything. So, you know, that's just on hold right now. But we do some amazing, we have a happiness ambassador program, and we have some amazing ambassadors that just really are uber super smart and experts in their field. And so when I talk about mind health, I talk about your mental, emotional, physical, intellectual, relational, environmental, spiritual self. That's called whole self. And you have to have harmonization of your whole self to fully be happy. And so we do bring in different education sessions that cover all those different categories. And so just some great stuff. We do corporate trainings. Our real focus of why we went downtown is because mental health is the #1 disability claim. And it is a serious business issue. It is costing the economy billions of dollars. And although we do not live in the recovery or our reactive stage, we're not like an EAP program. We don't compete with that. We are proactive so that your employees never have to cross the line. Because I realize if Johnny's having, might go to the EAP program and take a leave of absence, chances are Johnny might have been struggling for 5 or 10 years before he actually had the courage to go up. Do you think Johnny was productive during that time? Do you think it was beneficial to your company and it wasn't hurting your bottom line? Absolutely was. And we want to wake organizations up to this, and we want to make it really easy and simple for them to understand how to make this part of your daily culture. This is not about, you know, having a seminar once every 3 months or sending out a newsletter. It's like the minute your employees come into the workplace, how are they supported? Are you setting them up for success around the health of their mind? And that's what we teach. So we're very passionate about that. And then we do team building sessions that are very, more about coming together and still connecting to the message, but having a little bit more fun. So it can be really educational or it can be really just kind of fun, but it always connects to the message. So we are taking those courses now, obviously online. So very much working on digital. Our website, getadoseofhappiness.com, is really just a landing page right now because we are a pilot project, so we're just building it out. Later today, I'll have a few things updated, but next Tuesday, so I'm doing kind of like a lunch and learn on Tuesdays. And start featuring some of our experts. I really recommend everybody get on this one. We'll only have a certain amount of spots for it. We're going to be featuring Corey Deacon, who is a neuroscientist in Calgary, and he is so uber up and coming. I'm sure, pretend I'm Oprah and I'm discovering the next something. I keep saying I'm going to discover all these people and create my own. I'm the Oprah of happiness, and I'm just going to bring all these experts and share their message through, my business. But Corey I can just hear him talk for hours, so smart. And he's going to be talking about brain mapping, neurofeedback, boosting your immune system, just talking about some great, great stuff. And so it's super good to sign up on for that next Tuesday. And then every Tuesday we'll do something else and just bring on our happiness ambassadors and just connect people to some really valuable information right now. And all for free. We're doing this all for free right now. Yes, we are a business and we need to survive. But I also believe that, there's a time right now of giving, and we are here to give. And so we hope that people will show up and receive this gift that we're giving right now for them. We're showing up for them.
Oh, and that's awesome. And I love the fact that you are giving back, especially in a time of need. And I've been to your sessions there, and they are absolutely phenomenal. They're very interactive. I mean, if you don't want to speak, you don't have to. But the one that, I remember the last one that I was at, I think there must have been about 12 or 15 people. So a very nice, small group that actually I felt connected to. And I really loved the fact that you're able to open up, get different perspectives, listen to other people that are, going through the same thing. And I had coffee with 3 people after that. I was like, oh no, I want to meet that person. I want to meet that person. And now we've started a relationship with them. So I really believe that what you're doing is next level. And I hope that what we do see is companies that don't focus on mental wellness, because we react to it once it's already happened and it's too late. So
don't wait. Do not wait.
Being a preventative maintenance and Exactly. Get people talking about it so we don't get to that spot. And I think what you're doing, you should be, extremely happy for what you are doing, because I just love it, and I really hope it continues and into the future. So I will definitely give a shout out to your Tuesday virtual lunch and learns as well, so we can make sure that everybody has a chance to connect.
Thank you, Jade. That's what
So
we
I know.
need, community. And like you said, I am very much a community person. I love people, and I love throwing a party, and I love energy and atmosphere. Like I give 200% to creating that. And even the space, people come in and they're just like, what is this place? It just feels so good. And I'm like, well, thank you for noticing, because that is the intention, that you come here and you leave and you're just like, I need more of that. Like, I need to be around that energy. I need to be around that conversation. I need to be around those people more. And that's what we're trying to create. And we're just now going to try to take it digitally. So.
No, and I think that's great. I mean, a lot of people are going digitally right now, and then maybe it's something that that you can continue to do as well. Not only have the face-to-face, which I think is more important and will be even more important, once we're through the COVID-19 crisis here.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want you to put on. We've had some really good discussions about happiness, but I want to put your business owner hat on for a second here and ask a question about that. Obviously, you are a startup. This is something you have experienced, like a lot of entrepreneurs do when they start a new venture.
Yeah.
But what are you doing, or do you have any advice for people as well that are struggling through this time, that had to close their doors? So please.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm just saying you got to really focus to stay out of a fear-based mindset and stick into abundance. You're either two things right now. You're either just, you're bucking up and you're like, I'm going to make this happen, or you're pulling the covers over, because we're in fight or flight right now. We are in survival mode right now. So you're either going to be a warrior and you're going to be like, I'm going to do this, or you're going, I'm going home and I'm putting the covers over my head. And please, if there's anyone out there, my heart is full for that, because pajama syndrome is a serious, serious issue right now. And, we've just got to get more into abundance. And it's a lot of those things that I talked about. But, talking about moving into the digital space, I am terrible. Do not look me up on social media. Do not go to my website. People tell me all the time, Karen Judge, you have no presence. I'm like, I know, you Google it. It's not good for your mental health. So I've always struggled with social media, and I get people all the time, I can help you. And I'm like, yeah. I'm more about touching and being with you. But, I know the reality of it is, whether or not I like it or not, that's irrelevant. It is the way of the future. That's where people are. We're in a time of exchanging attention. That's where the attention is. So I'm having to do my own work right now around that. And we thought, we'll get the space set up. By March, we'll have the whole physical experience. And then come May, we wanted to start to work on the digital. Well, what this is doing is it's just reversing it. So I'm now focusing on the digital piece, because I can't do anything about the physical piece right now. And so it's really, what can you take your business online, and how can you do this? I'm a huge Gary Vee fan. And as Gary says, you love him, you hate him. I love him. He's just honest in everything he keeps saying. And it's true. We are in such a time of opportunity, and it is on digital, right? And so it's about figuring that out, of where that works for you. So right now I say to everybody, be taking this time to get ready, because when this changes, we're going to be in a different world. People are getting digital. Maybe people that have never ordered online or done things online are going to start doing them. They're going to go, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. Or they're, everyone's going to be a Zoom expert. Everyone's going to be a whatever expert. Like, what's going to make you stand out, right? So it's like, are you going to be relevant or not? And if not, how does that work for you? I mean, our world is moving so fast, and that is really part of, our mental wellness. We consume as much information in 24 hours as we used to in a decade. And, even for our children are probably going to have 7 or 8 careers, and the jobs that they're going to have tomorrow don't even exist yet. We don't even know what they are. There's not going to be like long time. You go to university and you get this degree, and you 25 years. They're going to have constant education. It's like, there's going to be this job that's irrelevant. Now you got to go get trained in this. That's irrelevant. Now get trained in this. We got to learn to manage this. And that's why a lot of what I talk about is the precursor to all that is having the basic mind health skills, the skills because without that, you are just going to be in a total state of chaos, overwhelm all the time, fear, and that's not going to serve you. So, That.
No, I agree. I mean, it's excellent points. I mean, we are digital, and sometimes, obviously, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Gary Vee. I like what he does, and I do follow him. But in the end, I don't think digital is everything, and you don't need to have a personal brand. You can be the brand of your business. You can be your brand of what, and I truly believe that we have to step away from our computers and step away from our phones and get this face to face. I mean, I know personally, my rule of thumb in Calgary is, if you want to connect with me, you have to meet me for a coffee. If you just want a phone call or a Zoom, sorry, it won't work. I mean, I drive to you, I'm mobile, I'm wherever. And if you're not going to don't have the time to meet with me face to face, well, then I don't have the time to make a phone call with you. And
right.
That was way as it may, you might agree with it, you might not agree with it. But I mean, I think we are losing this face to face. And I do believe that we are going down a road of I guess maybe that's part of why we're being our mental wellness is slagging so much, is because of the lack of face to face that we are losing.
Well, I do believe that. I mean, as you're saying, to your point, I think there is no substitute for community and connection. And everyone's like, so what's with your space? I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. I am in the biggest opportune time, because I think after all this, people are going to realize how much they crave that and experiences be together, right? It's going to be kind of, it's like if you have chocolate cake every day, after a while, you don't want chocolate cake. It's not so special, right? After a while, this digital stuff is just not fulfilling me, because it does become fulfillment, and you cannot get that unless you are with people. Like, I so am craving the touch and to be with my girlfriends and my friends and I'm just craving that. Even though I do this, it's not the same. It's not the same. No, absolutely not. No. But in this time right now, we need to figure out, how do we maneuver, or how do we fit into this? And what I'm saying is, I think there is so much opportunity out there right now in the digital space. So why fight it? Why not try it? It doesn't mean that that's where you're going. Do it for now, and then integrate the two when things get back together somehow.
No, absolutely. And I usually roll into my next question, and it's about what's next. But we've really talked about what's next kind of for you already. So I want to skip to the last question, and I want to kind of put a little spin on it. So usually I ask for a tip about business on what would you for an entrepreneur, startup, or small business. But I would rather have you talk about something in this time of need. If you were to give one tip for somebody to be happy from working from home, or getting through COVID-19, whatever it may be, what would that be, Karen?
Wow, that's a big question. That's a responsible question to answer for people out there, because I care so much. I think the thing is, where we're at right now is really figuring out what our purpose is. What is the reason you are here? What is the gift that you are here to give? And I think that that's something a lot of, we get going in life, and, we get our responsibilities, we get our jobs, and yes, we think we know it, but it's like, do you really know deep down inside? And most people do not know the reason that they were born. What is it they're really supposed to do? And we can find that purpose usually through our story. We have a gift to give somebody else and make it just a little bit easier for somebody else to do something. And even whether it's personal or it's business, if you're a new startup or you're an entrepreneur or a small business, know what your intention is in your purpose over the fame and fortune piece, right? Because no matter what happens in a changing world, nobody can take that away from you. So, for me personally, I am obsessed with what I do. I work like 14 hours a day. I'm such a brain geek. Because I feel like there are answers out there. And it's like, I feel like, it's the nuclear plant, and there's something, it's going to go off, and there's the sirens are going, and everyone's in their white suits, and they're running around looking for the off switch. And I'm standing there in my little happy pants, and I'm like, excuse me, there's the off switch. And everyone's pushing me and running past me and ignoring me, right? I'm so passionate about this because I've done so much research, and whether things go my way down in the space, whether they go my way in digital and that doesn't work out, nobody's going to be able to take away how passionate I'm about this. And I'm just going to have to reset, and I'm still going to be grasping onto that. So everything's not going to be taken away from me, right? Money might be taken away from me. I might have financial struggles, I might have other things, but I'll still have the core. And I think this is really a time, again, when I said we got to go in and really discover self and stop all the noise and what we think we're supposed to do and all the whatever, and really focus on that. What is that? What does that look like for all of us, for all in the world? And how can we be contributing, and how can we be in service to others and achieving fulfillment? Because to me personally, I mean, Tony Robbins says this all the time: success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, right? And, you know, I know a lot of very wealthy people that I would say I don't really know if they know what that means, right? So it doesn't mean that it's money. It's about money. It's about something so much more, right? So I just, for me, that's the biggest thing. It's just really finding your purpose. And a lot of my work of what I do is building the skills of your mind health, then becoming the highest expression of yourself and showing up for life. And finding that purpose and living big, living large to the end of time. To the end of time, I say we all need to do the Betty White, right? We all need to sign up. I don't like to hear I'm too old, I can't do that. It's like, no, you're still here. And so it's really embracing that, embracing this gift of life that we have. And again, like, we're going through this, but no matter what it is, somebody always has it worse than us, and we have to focus on what we do have. What we don't have, and that's the gratitude and the abundance piece, and what can we do with that, and how do we reset? So that's my overall message of my business. It's how I feel. It's who I try to be. Not perfect, but that's who I try to be. But I really want to see that after this, I really feel we're in an, it said before, it's like an awakening. And I think that the human growth through this could be huge. And if it is, I am so excited to see that world. I am so excited to see that world.
As am I. I mean, that's great advice. Thank you very much. And I mean, I always remember when I saw this, go to senior baseball nationals every year, and the guys were playing in, I think, the 60+ division, and on the back of their team shirts, it said, "You don't quit because you get old. You get old because you quit."
Oh,
love that little. I'm hoping in many years that I can still go to this tournament, and when I'm 60 and I'm still taking hacks at baseballs and throwing, and that always just stuck with me. So I just always love that.
It's so true. I mean, I could do a whole podcast just on the aging piece, right? Just on the piece, right, of how to just embrace that and the wisdom. And for me, I see people, I volunteer at the Y, and this is like off subject, but I love it because people always go, "So are you retired?" And I always say, well, I either look really rich or I look really old, and I'm hoping it's the rich one. And I'm thinking I could live another 50 years easily, right? And it's about moving forward and keep doing stuff. I have to live to be 200 because I have so many things that I want to accomplish here. So
no, absolutely.
Embracing it, and whether through your business, whether it's personal, I just want to see people showing up for their best self, and waking up every morning, again, not opening their eye and dreading putting their foot on the floor, but jumping out of bed with excitement, enthusiasm, and just that adventure, the playfulness, the curiosity, right, of that.
Absolutely. Again, Karen, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your happiness knowledge again. Karen Judge, you can go to her website, getadoseofhappiness.com. You can just click on the link in the comment section, and we'll take you there. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Karen. And I really do look forward. And again, for anybody that is listening, she has a lunch and learn every Tuesday around lunchtime, and you can just go on that online, and there are limited seats. So please check that out. Again, thank you very much, Karen, and obviously keep well, and we will talk soon.
Thanks, Jade. I really want to thank you, and I've really enjoyed. You were one of the people I've met through, the space, and I've really enjoyed meeting you, and I really enjoy your support as well. You've been a huge support, and I just want you to know I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, that means a lot, Karen. Thank you very much.
Great day.
All right, take care. And